Welcome to the official Starcraft 2 tier list, guys. We're about to... Okay, this is a no-brainer, right? Come on. Do we have any S tier Terran? Or let's start with Protoss, because Protoss first. And Archon. Archon's pretty good. Probably not S tier, though. Neither are a Carrion or Colossus. A Disruptor... No, I don't think Disruptor's an S tier unit at all. An Immortal is very good. True, true. I feel like a lot of Protoss units are A units, you know what I mean? I feel like Protoss is gonna fill like this entire bar right here. Ah, okay. Yeah. Like, the thing is, guys, I feel like a lot of people put S tier units just as like the 7 best units or whatever, but I feel like S tier should actually be reserved for units that are just absolutely freaking mental, okay? Not just really good, but absolutely freaking mental. Amira is pretty close to S tier, I think, to be honest, these days. Amira is the only reason I lose to Zerg, it feels like. What is Zerg without Mutas in ZVT right now? Like, Mutas is OP against mech, it's OP against bio. People complain about it in ZVZ. Like, I don't know. Is Amira not secretly an S tier unit? I'm really considering it. At least it's there. Okay. For sure. Maybe I'll move it up later. Okay, no, this is I'm putting effort in this, guys. This is real shit, okay. Now we have Terran units, okay. Banshee, obviously not. But then we get the Helium. I mean, the Helium is the best Terran unit, I think. If there is a Terran unit in the S tier, it has to be the Helium. Marine Marauder are just nice A tier units, I guess. Medevac as well. No, like, if you play mech, Ahelian is the reason you can kill drones in like your entire TVZ in any matchup really. Ahelian is all the reason you kill drones. So you get map control with Ahelian. You can win games with Ahelian drop. Like, how is Ahelian not the best unit we have? I don't know. The Ahelian, it's our best unit. It's either like really. I'm putting this in order, by the way. So the Bailing is the best unit in the game in my opinion, and then the Prism and then the Helion. But at least it's like really high A tier or S tier. But since it's the only unit I would put here, I'm gonna put it in S tier, I guess. Like a Marine, I feel like a Marine is just it's a good unit at like almost everything. But a Marine is completely useless in the late game. They're like, if you drop, you're just gonna lose your medevacs most of the time. Like, a Marine doesn't do damage against late game units. I feel like Hellions, I feel like they're always useful. A Helion is a better unit than the Marine for sure. Okay, well, I think the Mine is also really good, so that's probably gonna be... I don't know if it's gonna stay here, but it's definitely pretty high in the A tier, I think. Then a Zealot is obviously... I'm gonna fix this order later. I'm just putting shit in the A tier that belongs there, okay? I would say a Broodlord belongs in the A tier, don't you guys think? I'm not sure about the Broodlord actually, to be honest. I might move this. I'm not sure about it. Well, I'm probably gonna move this around later, but most of the units belong here, right? Actually, let's do the garbage units first. Okay, what's a garbage unit? Yeah, Void Rays are garbage as well. This is actually pretty hard, guys. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be this difficult. Like, where do we put workers? Are workers garbage? Like, aren't drones just shit? Like, why would a drone not be here? You literally lose a drone when you make a building. It's like, where's the other workers? SCV. SCV is just dumb as shit. SCVs are really dumb, actually. Oh, whatever. Yeah, you can kill people with a probe. That's true. You can be in the B tier. Okay. Now, Zergling is A tier, of course. What other units are fantastic? A Roach. Is a Ravager an A tier unit? Where's the Ravager? What about a Reaper, guys? A Reaper's like the most useless unit in the game besides the early game, no? Like, what is a... I don't know. Where does a Reaper go? Like, a Reaper, it's actually just such a trash unit, no? A Roach! You guys are underestimating units, guys. Do you know how good a Roach is? Like, ZVP exists because of roaches, you know. ZVZ exists because of roaches. How is a roach not an amazing unit? If you play any attack into roaches, you're instantly dead as Terran. You can... No, I don't think so. I think it's... Like, roaches are really good units, guys. The Swarm Host? No, Swarm Hosts suck. Fuck Swarm Host. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to balance the A and B tier out a little bit. Because I feel like... Check me out, guys. If I listen... Look, you have some S tier units, right? I feel like this is how most of the tier lists go, you know? Like, this unit's pretty good, this unit's pretty good, this unit's pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there should be some difference in A and B, like a small difference. So I'm gonna try to put some more units in. Yeah, no, Banshee's pretty trash. The Observer is actually one of the best Protoss units. Such a good unit, Observer. PvT, like, try to play without Observers. It doesn't work, actually. Queen is obviously still an A tier unit, right? Now, it's gonna be hard to differentiate between here. Okay, let's keep trying to add some trash units, okay? What about a carrier, guys? Is a carrier... Like, a carrier is pretty good, but you don't really see them. Like, what is a carrier here, maybe? I think a Ghost is B tier as well. No, I don't think a carrier is as bad as a Banshee, for example. Yeah, you should be able to forge them, you know? Like, a carrier is B, a Disruptor is B. But when they're merged, they're like S+. Okay, so is this an Adept? It looks kind of ugly. Well, an Adept is... one Adept is really good in the early game and that's it, no? It's kind of like a Reaper, to be honest. Vikings... I think a Viking is not that bad. What I think about the Siege Tank, guys. A Siege Tank is such a situational unit. In PvP, they're good to defend, but they're not really good to attack. They're not good in macro games. In TVZ, it's the same. You can do an early push, but you can... yeah, in the late game, they suck. Like, where is this? Maybe it's like a very low B tier or something. A Thor is probably either low B tier or high C tier, I guess. Like, once again, I'm making this list a little bit closer. So the fact that a unit is C tier doesn't mean it's absolute trash. It's just like a little bit worse than these bad boys over here, okay? And D tier are just the worst units, I guess. DT is definitely... Yeah, somewhere there. Anyway. Stalker is a good unit. But is it an A tier unit? Probably not. So maybe it's just like a high B tier. Oh, guys! Look at what we have over here. Where is an Overlord? Somewhere here, no? Like, for sure, right? What is Zerg without an... Yeah. Or maybe a high A tier or something. I don't know. Let's put it here for a bit. Colossus is a fantastic unit, but in PvZ and PvP, they're just like kind of a meme strategy at the same time. Battlecruisers. Oh, Battlecruisers is interesting actually, because it's... Actually, Battlecruisers should probably be pretty low, I guess, because... I don't know, it's not super popular against Zerg anymore. It's like, okay. You don't really use them in the other matchups. Let's put it next to the carrier, I guess. Yeah, the Ahelian is the best Terran unit. I'm sure about it. I even convinced myself even more while talking to you guys. Alright, the Marine Marauder. Where do Marine Marauders belong? I feel like kind of in the middle of the A tier, right? Wait, where did I put the Marine? Did I drag it on it? Oh, hello. Yeah. No, that looks okay. And the Marauder. The Marauder is definitely a bit worse than the Marine, right? Maybe the Marauder is somewhat similar to the Stalker. Or maybe like high or low A tier, I mean. Excuse me. Okay. Raven. Like, the thing with the Raven is, guys, a Raven is absurdly overpowered against Terran and obscenely shit in the other two matchups. Maybe it's like a... I don't know, guys. Is it better than the Thor, actually? It's like the same, I guess. Okay. Well, the Medevac is a fantastic unit as well. Medevacs are kind of the reason Bio exists, right, at the same time. So let's put it there. Pretty high up, I guess. The Ravager, I think the Ravager is... Yeah, the Ravager is not as good as the Roach, but I know Ravagers are really good against Protoss. Yeah, Ravager is probably like a high beat tier, kind of like a company of these bad boys over here. I don't know. You know, we have a bunch of spellcasters left as well. Where's the Corruptor? What does a Corruptor compare to? A Corruptor is really good against... Like, Corruptors are just good against massive units and that's it, but besides that, it's not very useful, right? It's probably even worse than the carriers and stuff. But it's better than the Viking. Yeah. Oh, that actually looks pretty decent, I think. It shouldn't. I'm gonna move the ghost, by the way. The ghost is better than this, but I'm keeping it there for now. The Liberator has dropped off a lot, I think. You don't really see them too much against Protoss. It's more about Ghost Viking now. They're good against Terran Mech and Terran late game. It's probably like a high B tier unit as well, right? Yeah. Hydrolysis is also somewhere here. It's like it's just a solid unit, you know. It doesn't feel like particularly amazing, I think. Where's an Ultralisk? An Ultralisk is really good against Terran in the late game, but you don't use them in other matchups, I guess. It's probably like a lower B tier kind of thing. Even though it hurts to put it here because I think it's really good against Terran in the late game. Okay. Now the Phoenix is definitely better than a lot of these units, I think. Let's see. Phoenix in PvP are used sometimes. In PvZ they're not used super often, mostly just for like meme strategies. They're really good against Terran. And maybe it's just like a high B tier kind of thing, you know. Then the Colossus is the same, it's really good against Terran, but it's not that great in the other matchups, you know. Okay, where do I want to put the Ghost actually? I would say a Ghost is more like here. Like somewhere in this row. Like a Ghost is really not that amazing, but it's... I don't think a Ghost is that good against Zerg. I think a Ghost is mostly just... Ghosts are unexistent in TVT. And Ghosts are good against Protoss, but like... only in the way that you can EMP before the fight, you know what I mean? If they have like a lot of Disruptors or the fight doesn't happen, the Ghosts are not that great. And in TVZ, they're like late game TVZ is mostly just like spamming bio units now and stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, a Ghost is not fantastic, but it's alright, so we're gonna put it there. Maybe the tank should be a little bit higher, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll put it there. Okay, then we have the Hellbat. Now, a Hellbat is... yeah, useless against Protoss. It's pretty good against Terran, to be honest. Pretty good against Circus, I think. I think I just put it a low B tier, I guess. Hellbat is not as good as all these like situational good units, I think, but it's not as bad as the Thor. Yeah, Hellbat is better than a Banshee for sure. Like, Banshee is like an early harassment unit that is very easy to defend. Hellbats are like pretty useful. If you play mech, you need to make some Hellbat. Like they're not super strong, but you're gonna make a few to defend from Zealot and Zerglings, you know? It's... okay, a Disruptor. Disruptor is really good at PvP. A Disruptor is really good against Terran. A Disruptor is not so good against Zerg. A Disruptor is a low A tier unit, I think. Okay, an Archon. Archons are really good against Zerg, really good against Protoss, and really good against Terran. Until you get a lot of Ghosts. Archon is probably also an A tier unit, I guess. I think an Archon should be probably a little bit higher than the Disruptor, like here or something. Lurker is actually a difficult one for me, guys, because Lurkers seem to be... They were shit for a long time, but now people are actually using them and stuff, you know? Like, we see Lurkers in TVZ. We see Lurkers in against Protoss sometimes. Against Zerg, you use them. A Lurker is actually probably decently high up. Maybe like... I don't know, somewhere here. Like very high B, I guess. Let's see, what do we have left? An Overseer. I mean, an Overseer is a good scout. And it's a decent detector, and that's about it. Maybe an Overseer is just like low B tier or something, I don't know. A Tempest. Tempest are just like semi-useful in every matchup, right? But not really good. It's like a little bit useful against Terran if it's late game. You use them against Zerg maybe if they go for Brutal Lords and you don't have a lot of carriers out. Against Protoss you make a few of them in the ultra late game. They're probably like... I don't know, below the Corruptor or something. Or maybe... Is it worse than a Viking? Those are the real questions we have to ask ourselves. Is a Tempest worse than a Viking? Or is it better than a carrier? I would say a Tempest is for sure better than Thors. Thors don't have any function really. Tempest have some function. Yeah, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna put the Viking one place up actually. Then the Hydrolysis. Where do we want to put the Hydrolysis? Yeah, Hydra was just gonna be somewhere around here, right? It's like a safe unit. The Hydras are actually pretty good, but our Hydra, like if you play ZVP, you see people lose the Hydra Bane they're mostly just losing to banelings. You know what I mean? In ZVT, they are very good to play safe. Yeah, maybe we'll just put it higher up. Okay, this is gonna be a high beat tier unit then. Okay, that sounds good. No, like I mean, there's a reason the baneling is here, guys. Like, I could put Thors in composition with banelings and it would be a good composition. You know what I mean? So like, the fact that it's good with banelings it doesn't tell us anything. I could go Viking baneling and it would be good. You know. Okay, so we have the best unit here left is the Immortal, I guess, right, about this list. So let's put the Immortal in. Good against Protoss, very good against Zerg. Decent against Terran, not amazing. Maybe a low A tier as well. What do you guys think? I kind of feel like the Roach might actually be a little bit too high, like you guys said. I think it's maybe something like this. I think, right? Like, this is a bit... I feel like Terrans would put a little bit lower, because for Terrans, the Disruptor is a lot stronger, but in general... I think the Immortal is probably a little bit better than the Disruptor, right? Yeah, okay, where are Cyclones, guys? Cyclones are good against Terran, very useless against Protoss, and situationally kind of good against Zerg. So maybe that's like a mid-B tier, you know. Either in between the Stalker and the Broodlord, or in between the Colossus and the Broodlord. Mine met 10 pond, 10 pond, guys. That is the bounce. There you go. Perfect. Alright. Oracle's not a fantastic unit, right? It's useful. Revelation is very good. Proxy Oracle's pretty alright. That you don't see them too much in PvZ anymore. People just play Glaives and DTs, right? Against Terran, it's okay. Against Protoss, it's okay. It's probably like a lower B tier unit, maybe. It's kind of similar to an Ultralisk, I guess. Maybe it's like there or something. It's about the same as a Banshee, really. But it has a little bit more value with the Stasis and stuff, so okay. Infestors are either kind of low or like the best unit in the game, depending on the patch. What are Infestors really good against now? If you get to the ultra late game in TVZ, Infestors are very good. Yeah, if you play against Mech, Infestors is the key to win easily. Like, yeah, against Mech it's like S tier, but against Protoss, like it's really just a late game unit, right? Like, I guess for its purpose, it's very good. They're not that great against Zerg, just against Mutas, I guess. Against Mech, they're like, yeah, it becomes very hard. Against Protoss late game, it's pretty good. Maybe it's like high B tier. Is an Infestor better than a Ghost? Yeah, it has to be a little bit better than a Ghost, right? Maybe it's like something like this. Well, it's probably better than a Lurker as well, no? Maybe the Lurker should be here and then the Infestor goes, oh, something like this. A Viper. Viper's kind of similar to the Infestor, right? It's like, it's situationally good against Zerg, I guess. Against Terran, you just kill Thors and shit for free all the time. It's even against Bio, it's pretty good actually. Against Protoss, it's just used for late game, but you just make like 1 or 2, I think, to yoink. Can you still yoink the mothership? I don't think so. Like carriers, I guess. It's about the same as the Ghost, I would say. I'm gonna move the Ghost up a little bit still, I think. Yeah, Ghost should be here, and then the Viper can be right next to it. And don't forget that B tier are still like very competent units, especially the high B tier. Like, I put this in order, guys. What is the Sentry actually good at? It's a very mediocre unit, actually, no? Sentry has a... Yeah, that's right. Hallucination. Insane spell. That's true. Guardian Shield against Terran, very good. Force Field's not really as relevant these days, I think. I would say a Sentry is better than these low B tier units, probably. I would say it's a bit better than... Yeah, it's better than the Raven, I think. It's also not super high. But the scouting is very important at the same time, but mostly I just do it with observers, right? I feel like the observers are way more important than the hallucination scouts, so I'm gonna put it in between the Adept and the Viking. I think some of you guys think the Marine is the best Terran unit, and some of you guys think the Mine is the best Terran unit, right? Okay, I'm gonna compare it one more time. Okay. Ahelian. You can make Ahelian in the early game in every single matchup, and it's very threatening. Ahelian has the potential to end the game right away with a run by or with a proxy Ahelian drop or whatever. Ahelian is the reason you can do drone damage with mech at all. Ahelian is the reason you have map control and you can kill creep against Zerg. Okay, a Widow Mine is like, if they don't micro sometimes, they get a massive hit in their face. It's good defensively against Mutas, you can drop it. Yeah, it's a great unit. I would say it's definitely not as good as a Hellion. A Marine is a good combat unit. It's alright at drops. You can never end the game with Marines early on in any way. A Marine is useless completely in the late game. A Marine literally kills himself to be able to shoot at a decent pace, you know. The Bailing and the Warpism deserve to have their own tier. That's what convinced me really. Like Ahelian is the best unit we have, but the Baileys and the Warpism they need to be on their pedestal, you know. They deserve to have a fucking shrine. Every Zerg player needs to have a Bailing shrine in their gaming room.